Honorable Dr. Frederick Shava, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Prime Cabinet Secretary and the Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs of the Republic of Kenya, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, Honorable Ministers here present, Acting Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Trade of the Republic of Zimbabwe, and co-chair of the Senior Officials Meeting, Ambassador Rufina Chikava, Director for Africa in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in the Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs of the Republic of Kenya, and co-chair of the Senior Officials Meeting, Ambassador Dennis Mburu. Permanent secretaries here present, Ambassador of the Republic of Zimbabwe to the Republic of Kenya, Ambassador Winnipeg Moyo, Ambassador of the Republic of Kenya to the Republic of Zimbabwe, Ambassador Stella Munyi. Dear colleagues, good afternoon to you all. Before we start our proceedings this afternoon, may I request all to rise for the national anthems of Zimbabwe and Kenya, beginning with Zimbabwe, followed by Kenya. May we all rise. Thank you. remain standing? May we remain standing, please? Honorable Ministers, a few days ago, the Chief of Kenya Defense Forces, General Francis Omondi Ogola, died in a helicopter crash together with his crew and his colleagues. A few days ago as well, here in Zimbabwe, we lost a decorated general, Brigadier General Shadrach Veja. Also to pass on in the last few days are our national heroes, Comrade Nash Zimiri and Comrade Tsitsi Grace Jadagu. I request that we observe a minute of silence in memory of the dear departed. Thank you. You may be seated. Honorable Ministers, Permanent Secretaries, and colleagues, allow me to bid you welcome to this, the ministerial segment of the fourth session of the Zimbabwe-Kenya Joint Permanent Commission for Cooperation. We shall begin by hearing the opening statement from our leadership of the Joint Permanent Commission. That is Honorable Dr. Frederick Shava and Honorable Musalia Mudavadi. Honorable Shava will speak first, followed by Honorable Mudavadi. This will constitute the opening session of our Joint Permanent Commission at ministerial level. May I call upon the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Dr. Shava.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies. I want to take this time to recognize our main guest, Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs of the Republic of Kenya, and my co-chair for the fourth session of the Zimbabwe-Kenya Joint Permanent Commission on Cooperation, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi. I also recognize honorable ministers from Zimbabwe here present, and honorable ministers from Kenya who may be here. I wish to recognize also Her Excellency Stella Munyi, Ambassador of the Republic of Kenya to Zimbabwe, and our own ambassador, Winnipeg Moyo, Zimbabwe's ambassador to the Republic of Kenya. Allow me to also recognize distinguished senior officials from both Zimbabwe and Kenya, and ladies and gentlemen. And when my speech was written, they thought we were going to do it in the morning. So the salutation is a very good morning. Take it, it's a very good evening. I warmly welcome you, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, and your distinguished delegation to Harare, Zimbabwe. It is indeed my great pleasure to co-chair with you the fourth session of the Joint Permanent Commission on Cooperation, so-called JPCC, between the Republic of Zimbabwe and the Republic of Kenya. My dear co-chair, I would like to begin by acknowledging the long-standing fraternal relations which continue to grow between our two countries. These ties have come a long way, and they have been deepened by regular exchanges of visits at the highest level, and we are very pleased with that. I am pleased also to recall that His Excellency the President, Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, was in Nairobi in September of 2022 to attend the inauguration ceremony of his counterpart, His Excellency Dr. William Ruto. And prior to that, President Mnangagwa undertook a very successful visit, state visit, to Kenya in March of 2022, and which was held back to back with the third session of our JPCC after a long time. Co-chair, I wish to take note with satisfaction that during the bilateral talks that were held between our two heads of state, both in January 2023 in Dakar, Senegal, on the margins of the Feed Africa Summit, the President Mnangagwa proposed to his counterpart, Dr. Ruto, the possibility of him paying a state visit to Zimbabwe on a mutually agreeable date. I am pleased to note that in a few days from today, His Excellency President Ruto will pay a state visit to Zimbabwe, during which time he will be the guest of honor at the official opening of our ZITF, Zimbabwe International Trade Fair, our premier trade fair that occurs every year. It is of great significance to emphasize that Zimbabwe and Kenya have intertwined cultural affinities and very strong people-to-people relations, which have played a role in molding a solid social foundation for our bilateral ties, which thrive so well. We have vast numbers of citizens who are resident in each other's countries as professionals, as students, and as business people. It is also worthy to note that following the Kenyan government's decision to grant citizenship to the Shona community that that is in Kenya, they have managed to cast their votes for the first time during the 2022 general elections in Kenya. We thank you for accommodating these Zimbabweans on a permanent basis. Furthermore, thank you. Furthermore, free movement of persons between the two countries has been partially restored by the recent exemption of Zimbabweans traveling to Kenya from payment of the electronic travel authorization ETA fees, a move which will further expand the scope of the reciprocal visa-free regime between our two countries. This is as it should be. My co-chair, in March 2022, the countries laid a solid foundation for the intensification of our strategic partnership by resuscitating the Joint Permanent Commission on Cooperation that has been lying dormant for a good 25 years. And during the third session of our JPCC, we made a commitment to hold annual intersessional meetings through which we would hold ourselves to account and to make sure that our focus is not deviated. With this in mind, I'm delighted that we are starting this fourth session of our two sisterly countries, JPCC, with one credit certainly in our favor. My co-chair, the next 2 days should assist us to review how far we have come and forge greater coherence as we strive for the successful implementation of our joint decisions. Therefore, in this session, we have to be very objective in assessing where we have succeeded, where we can do better, and must improve our focus and support our joint programs with effective operational systems that will enable us to deliver results. As an assessment of the progress made thus far reflects a mixed picture of some isolated sectors that have made positive steps towards implementing the agreed decisions, while in the broader context, it has generally not been as fast and as extensive as we expected. Admittedly, timelines have been missed, and there are a number of areas where there has hardly been any action since our last meeting. For that, corrective measures are certainly therefore urgent and necessary. With regards to the Foreign Affairs Administration and Governance cluster, I am glad, co-chair, that our two countries continue to exchange views on a broad range of issues of mutual concern within the context of the diplomatic and political consultations. In the same vein, the cooperation in the area of defense and security has also emerged as a major pillar of our partnership. I am informed that colleagues in that sector managed to convene their first subcommittee meeting as they were instructed by the third session of the JPCC. Undoubtedly, that contact has laid a strong foundation for closer cooperation between our two countries in that critical area. My co-chair, in the economic sector, though the volumes of bilateral trade remain worryingly low, I'm encouraged that we are now witnessing an evolving working relationship between our national trade facilitating agencies, that is the Zimtrade on our part, and the Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency in Kenya. We should build on this foundation to leapfrog joint efforts towards the harmonization of product standards, as well as to reduce the barriers to the smooth flow of trade. And in the recent past, we have faced some challenges in some sectors, including the sugar industry. I am confident that if we put our minds together during this session, we can devise concrete and constructive methods on how best to deliver our common commitment in promoting a smooth economic and trade relationship. It is even more encouraging that Zimbabwe Investment Development Agency, ZIDA in short, and the Kenya Investment Authority, Can Invest, have heeded our call and have concluded a dialogue towards the finalization of an instrument of bilateral cooperation. Once in place, their memorandum of understanding will assist in stimulating reciprocal investments between the two markets. To complement that effort, let me highlight that as earlier promised, and during the session of our JPCC, we have gone ahead with leveraging our captains of industry to this effort and convened a business forum that has enabled us to identify concrete measures that we can use to strengthen our business environments and advance our priorities. My dear co-chair, in the field of tourism, environment and wildlife conservation sector, I am delighted to note that the parties are having progressive engagements which include participating in each other's tourism expos, and in order to maximize the human-wildlife conflict, the government of Zimbabwe has established the Communal Areas Management Program for Indigenous Resources. We call that program Campfire. This project, where communities have full control of their immediate environment. In this and other projects, there is vast potential for cooperation with your country, my dear brother. I am satisfied to learn that a number of draft MOUs from the economic and social sectors have been exchanged between our two countries in various fields that hold promise for mutual benefit. These, I understand, include the field of agriculture, science and technology development, education, health, media, affordable housing, and many others. I am pleased to note that this meeting will help us conclude some of these outstanding MOUs, thus making way for their significant and effective implementation at the earliest possible time. At this juncture, I should perhaps express gratitude to our sectoral chairs for seeing this process through thus far. My dear co-chair, we have already proved our efficiency and effectiveness through the finalization of some of the MOUs, and I'm told some of these MOUs include, number one, a draft MOU on cooperation in the field of health. And I'm glad to see the Minister of Health of Zimbabwe amongst us. And also a draft MOU on proposed collaboration between the Zimbabwe Public Service Academy and the Kenya School of Government. And thirdly, a draft on science, technology, and innovation. And fourth, MOU on investment, promotion, facilitation between Investment and Development Agency, ZIDA, and its Kenyan counterpart can invest. And also a draft MOU on cooperation in the field of basic education, training, and research. My co-chair, the framework of our joint commission is already on expansionary path. During this time, we will have an opportunity to open discussions on new frontiers of cooperation which did not arise during the previous sessions. One specific area is the recent proposal by the Public Service Academy of Zimbabwe to collaborate with Kenya School of Government. This proposed partnership was part of the Academy's effort to internationalize and work together with similar institutions with a view to strengthen its institutional capacity to provide the required competencies that are needed by members of the public service to better discharge their duties. I am therefore pleased to announce that this particular draft MOU is finally ready for signature on our part. As I conclude, Co-Chair, I would like to underline the seriousness and importance of this gathering as it sets new parameters in our bilateral ties with the expected implementation of new agreements by our two countries. Before I finish this statement, I must provide some information. This information is to the effect that we will share these views today. And in the next day or so, we shall all proceed to Bulawayo to attend the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair and witness its opening by President William Ruto of Kenya. And after concluding the program of the trade fair, we will proceed to brief their excellencies, our heads of state, about the discussions, the results that we've achieved in these discussions. And at that point in time, we will now be able to sign the MOUs under their supervision in Bulawayo. So we hope that we can keep working on the finalization of the MOUs, and then when we get to Bulawayo and before the state banquet, there will be an occasion for bilateral discussions by the two heads of state with us, the ministers, and we will have that occasion to brief the heads of state about the progress that we will have made in these negotiations on the MOUs. It is also our view that this kind of relationship that we have with Kenya now needs an upliftment which will give it a higher level as a binational commission. That means that we will, if their excellencies agree, we will henceforth, from that time, have a program at summit level every 2 years. And this is a practice that we find to be very workable, very useful with our neighbors and with friendly countries. I was saying to Minister Mudavadi that Kenya is our neighbor, in spite of the kilometers between us, but Kenya is our neighbor, and we would like our relationship with Kenya in terms of these agreements to be at a bi-national commission, so that the two heads of state, without fail, every 2 years, they superintend the progress that our countries continue to make with each other. I want to thank you for your kind listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Dr. Shava, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade of the Republic of Zimbabwe. It is my great honor at this moment to invite the Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs of the Republic of Kenya, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, to present his opening statement. Honorable Minister.
Thank you. Your Excellency, Honorable Frederick Shava, Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Trade of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Your Excellency, Ministers present, Ambassadors and High Commissioners, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, Hamujambo. And good evening. On behalf of the Kenyan delegation and myself, I extend heartfelt gratitude for the warm reception we have received since our arrival in the enchanting city of Harare. I take this opportunity to appreciate the messages of condolence from the Republic of Zimbabwe following the passing of General Francis Ogola, Chief of the Defense Forces of the Republic of Kenya. And in the same vein, I wish to pass my deepest condolences to the government and people of the Republic of Zimbabwe for the loss of great public servants, Brigadier General Shadrach Veza and Comrade Nyasha Nzimiri, Director, President's Department for the Republic of Zimbabwe. It is with great pleasure that I join you for the fourth session of the Kenya-Zimbabwe Joint Permanent Commission for Cooperation. We view this meeting as a significant milestone in the enduring relationship between our two sister nations. Let this JPCC serve as a testament to our commitment to fostering strong partnerships and realizing a brighter future for all. These opportunities, forging a path of prosperity and progress for generations to come. My delegation and I eagerly anticipate the positive outcomes of this meeting with a strong commitment to enhancing and solidifying the bilateral ties between Kenya and Zimbabwe. Discussions over the last few days have revolved around our ongoing cooperation in areas such as security, trade and investment, agriculture, education, health, tourism, capacity development, transport, and other sectors. I am encouraged by by the progress we have made during this session in exploring new areas of cooperation such as science, technology and innovation, maritime and blue economy, energy, water and irrigation, urban development, among others. I wish to commend the diligent efforts by the technical teams from both countries for their exemplary work over the past 2 days. The constructive discussions and agreements reached stand as a testament to their dedication and commitment. This unwavering commitment reflects the cooperative spirit that has guided our bilateral relations since the inception of the Kenya-Zimbabwe Joint Permanent Commission for Cooperation in 1989 in Nairobi. Kenya and Zimbabwe enjoy a long-standing amicable relationship that traces back to the visionary leaders of our nations, founding eras during our liberation struggles. Since that time, our relations have continued to grow bountifully. I am therefore delighted to announce that we have 6 Memorandum of Understanding, MOUs, prepared for signing. The MOU in the field of education, training and research, MOU in the field of health, MOU on standard association collaboration, MOU in the field of capacity development, agreement on defense and training, and the MOU in the field of investment and development. As ministers, we welcome the proposal by the senior officials to elevate relations between our 2 countries from the current Joint Permanent Commission for Cooperation to a binational commission. The binational commission, which will be chaired by at the heads of state level, will further strengthen cooperation between the 2 countries. Mr. Minister, I am personally persuaded, so you and I have a job to make sure that we persuade our principals about this recommendation. It is imperative to note that our goal is not only to sign, but to ensure their operationalization. It is vital that we evaluate the impact and expected contribution of each cooperation instrument to the enhancement of our relations. Therefore, my delegation and I are extremely hopeful that the agreements reached during this 4th session of the Kenya-Zimbabwe Joint Permanent Commission for Cooperation will bring favorable outcomes to both nations. And to bring this to reality, I note with appreciation that the 2 sides have reached an agreement on the implementation modalities of the finalized MOUs and will form joint technical committees that will establish a comprehensive framework for their regular monitoring and evaluation. Your Excellency, I further note that through the implementation of various regional integration initiatives, such as the Africa Continental Free Trade Area and COMESA, there exists a plethora of avenues through which our sister countries can leverage to expand collaboration opportunities for mutual prosperity. I therefore urge all that our bilateral agreements should not lose sight of the opportunities that these regional initiatives present. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, as we embark on this journey together, let us remember the importance of collaboration and unity in achieving our shared goals through concerted efforts and mutual respect. We can bring about significant advancements that will positively impact the lives of our citizens. My delegation and I look forward to the benefits that will be derived from this meeting with a compelling aspiration to strengthen and deepen bilateral relations between Kenya and Zimbabwe. Once again, I extend my appreciation to the senior officials from both sides for their dedication and efforts during the preparation of this meeting. It would be wrong if I did not at least acknowledge by name not the entire teams, but the team leaders. I would like, on the Zimbabwe side, to give special appreciation to Ambassador Rofina and Chikava, the acting permanent secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Ambassador Winpeg Moyo, Ambassador of Zimbabwe to Kenya, or is it the other way around? We always tease her that maybe she's more Kenyan. And on the Kenyan side, let me again, on behalf of the entire teams, acknowledge Ambassador Dennis Mburu and Ambassador Stella Munyi. These team leaders have guided this process very, very positively. And what is critical is that they have gotten us working after a lapse of several years. So we really want to appreciate their gesture, and from now henceforth, they have set the pace. It is for us to pick up from there. Your Excellency, let me also acknowledge that you did raise some fundamental issues, and we will undertake to have these issues refined, because for business to thrive, for people to operate, we must make sure that at all times the business environment is predictable and the rules are clearly defined, so that we do not have our citizens from both countries or our institutions running into headwinds that should not have been there. So as we look into the past, we will also take corrective measures where we have had challenges, so that we can improve and make sure that the business communities, the trade process, the interaction is governed in a manner that there is no threat to any of our institutions or operations. So that is a commitment that I make, and we look forward to being in Bulawayo. I've never been to Bulawayo, so my heart is pounding so that I can get an opportunity to be there. On a lighter note, Winnipeg is called Winnipeg Moyo. Moyo is the heart in Kiswahili, or in where I was born in Kenya. So, as I would say, my moyo is pounding to be able to be in Bulawayo. But thank you so much, and we really wish you the very best. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you, Honorable Mudavadi, Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs. of the Republic of Kenya. Honorable Ministers, this marks the end of our official opening session, which is open to the media. I want to express my appreciation to the media for your presence and your coverage of the just ended official opening session. We will invite you again today at the end of our JPCC. Before we convert this meeting into a closed session, I am reminded that I inadvertently skipped an important part of the opening session. This is the aspect of recognizing the presence of honorable ministers and permanent secretaries who are here at this session this afternoon. If you allow me, honorable ministers and co-chairs, the honorable ministers and permanent secretaries here present can indicate their presence. Most of the ministers are in the first two rows in the middle of the room. I think they can indicate their presence at this moment. I know my ministers, but I don't know the honorable ministers from Kenya. So if we can do self-introduction, perhaps it is better. Thank you, honorable ministers. No, you can indicate where you are seated, honorable ministers. Could we have somebody to move with the roving mic?
Better. My name is Opa Chamumu Chinguri Kashiri. I'm the Minister of Defense of the Republic of Zimbabwe. I thank
you. My name is Kazembe. I'm the Minister of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage, Zimbabwe.
My name is Torirai Moyo. Moyo means heart. I'm the Minister of Primary and Secondary Education in Zimbabwe.
I am Dr. Douglas Tendai Mombeshora, Minister of Health and Child Care for the Republic of Zimbabwe.
I'm Dr. Mureka Chiro, standing in for Professor Amon Murira, Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology Development. Thank you.
I am Engineer Benjamin Kabikira, the Deputy Minister of Local Government, Zimbabwe. Thank you.
My name is Joshua Sako. I'm the Deputy Minister of Transport and Infrastructural Development, Republic of Zimbabwe.
And I am Simbani Gaviyokai, the Deputy Minister for National Housing and Social Amenities, Zimbabwe.
I'm Aaron Nepera, the Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Defense. Thank
you. You can move to the Kenyan side.
Can I use this? I think our ministers will be in Bulawayo. The ones who will be coming with the president. By sheer coincidence, you are having a cabinet meeting today, and there's another cabinet meeting in Nairobi as well. Okay.
Thank you very much, honorable ministers. This concludes the first open official session of our JPC. But as we transition from this open session to the next closed session, perhaps we can also have a family photo at this moment before the cameras leave the room. I want to suggest the honorable ministers come forward to join the podium. Ministers and senior officials, permanent secretaries can come forward, please.